I'm going to be showing you how to create this drum groove using not a single loop. If you want to know how to make your own drum grooves, your own unique sounding drums that sound like you, it's probably best that you don't use loops. You can, of course, use them if you want to add a bit of touch to your drum grooves, but in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to create drum grooves without using a single loop. Let's dive in. So as you can see, we're going to start off from an empty Ableton session, nothing loaded in here. And in order to get started, we're going to rename this channel into sidechaining. So we can create that pumping effect later on. Set this to input. Now we're going to create a Control-Shift-T MIDI track. Going to instantly group this here. Going to call this Chord Drums. Link this channel into our sidechain channel. That's the basics. And in this MIDI clip, what we're going to do is load a drum rack. So we're going to head into Instruments and search for drum rack. Double click that, load that in. And then we're going to create another MIDI clip by duplicating this drum rack over here. So hitting Control D or Command D. And going to actually move this out of the chord drums. Create another group by hitting Control G. And naming this Percs. Going to duplicate this channel here and call this Tops. I'm just creating the necessary channels that we will be needing for the entire drum groove here. And as a matter of fact, we don't want the chord drums to be going into our sidechain channel. We want them to be heading into our master channel. We're going to color these percussions here in a bit of a different tone. These are going to head into sidechain, and the tops are also going to be heading into sidechain. And for the top loops, we're actually also going to change the color to this here. So we have 3 individual group tracks, each group track containing a drum rack over here. And now I'm just going to start off by creating a kick where you just need a simple kick sample to get the loop going. Therefore, I'm going to be heading into my Daydreamer Organic House production suite. Over here, drums, one-shots, kick. And let's see if we can find something that sounds pretty balanced. Gonna stick with this one here. Load a couple of more just so we have a few more references. This one sounds cool, pretty organic. This one too. This one as well. Let's see which one fits best. I'm gonna create a small MIDI clip, Control-Shift-M. Change my loops to 4 bars because we're programming the kick now. This enables me to listen to the kick. So I'm going to duplicate this kick here till the end of our loop. There we go. Shift tab to move out. Change the BPM to, let's say, 118. And loop this hitting Control L. So we have our kick loop going already. And from now, what I'd like to do is add some percussions. And for the percs, we're actually gonna hit Control-Shift-T and create a tom groove using some toms from this pack as well. This is cool. Control-Shift-M, create a MIDI clip for the toms, hit 1/8. And see if we can get a stable tom groove going. So I want to go like, maybe cut out the highs here just a bit. Zoom in again. Working on the tom right now. Nope. I'll be really careful with these tom grooves. We want them to be on point. Paying a lot of attention to how they sound here. Tune the kick down a bit. Increase the overall volume of the track here. Oops. So you can shift these down and take this part over here, duplicate it, hitting Control. Okay, so this seems to be pretty cool. I'm gonna duplicate this. Actually gonna reintroduce the highs a bit. They sound pretty cool. So see if we can create a complementary tom loop. So I'm going to duplicate this and just substitute the sample for another one. Okay, this is cool. Just going to take this little snippet here. Save the project. Remember to save your projects, really important. And as a matter of fact, we're going to add another layer to our core drums and call this one, so hit Control-Shift-T to create a MIDI track and call this one clap 1. So we're going to search for our main clap. This is how I go about when I create full drum rhythms. So we have a few different claps here. Looking for one that sounds really loose and kind of like organic and has a human feeling to it. So I hit Control-Shift-M, drag the sample into the MIDI clip. This one here, I like this. And should be a C, right? Yeah. Yep, this is cool. You see, I'm not 100% putting the clap on the grid because it has a bit of a pre-shift effect. I want it to sweep in. See, the clap doesn't start here, it starts a bit earlier. Gonna, of course, readjust the start time here. But I find this to be naturally the best starting point. Cool. I'm gonna duplicate this. Nice sounding clap, reduce the volume a bit. I'm going to duplicate this clap layer, so I'll call this one clap 2. And see if we can find another layer to the clap. Cool. So a really snappy clap, that's what we're looking for here. And now we're going to look for a hi-hat. This one sounds pretty cool. I'm going to create a new audio, a new MIDI track, Control-Shift-T, call this one hat, and then we're just going to drag in a hi-hat sample, a one-shot. Cool, duplicate this section here. We're working in the 1/16th mode. Could also hit it or change it to 1/8, but I find that I have more control in the 1/16th panel here. Let's see if this is the right hi-hat. I'm going to stick with the short and snappy one. See if we can find another kick. I actually like this one too. Cool. We have the basics of the drum groove ready. Where do we proceed from here on? Drum sound, not so full yet. So we're gonna take this top loop into account. This is where it gets interesting. We are going to add in some shakers from here. And since we're not using loops, we're going to be using one-shots. So we're going to import one-shot shakers, also from the Daydream Organic House pack. And Control-Shift-M to create a MIDI clip. I'm going to start drawing in individual shaker notes. Let's see, I'm just messing around with a few shaker notes here. This one sounds cool. So we're going to change this to 16th, make sure it's on 16th, and mess around with the velocities here. Maybe another one here. See what we can do out of this here. Gonna create some variation by choosing other shaker sounds now. Yeah, you want to have a different tone each time, which is very important. To reduce the volume a bit, and now we're going to add an auto pan effect to the shakers here. Add some width. See what we can do with this loop here. I'm gonna take some time here. Yeah, sounds cool. I could perhaps move this one here. Add some variation perhaps. Reduce the velocity. Cool. Now we're going to proceed to filling out the drum groove by adding some percussions. So what we're going to do now is create a new track inside of our perc loops here, hitting Control-Shift-T, and adding another drum rack. So drum rack, instruments, drum rack, double click that one here, and then hit Control-Shift-M, and actually get into this pack again. And we're just gonna, let's just take all of these here. Fudge it. I was gonna take them all. And then start with our groove. But before we move on, what I'd like to do now is add some sidechaining. So for sidechaining, I'm gonna delete whatever's on the track here. Gonna head into compressor. So I'm gonna search for a compressor. Double click that. Open up this panel here, click sidechain audio input from. Where is it? Where's my kick? Yeah, I should probably bring this into kick. Head back into the sidechain channel, audio from kick. So our kick's going to be triggering the sidechain. Whenever the kick hits, everything else is being reduced in volume. So let's see how that sounds. That's a bit more groove and rhythm to the shaker loops. And now our percussion's also going to be processed by the sidechain, so it's automatically applied to the groove. And now we're just going to start messing around with the individual percussion sounds here and see if we can come up with something that sounds interesting and organic. And let's just fiddle around. Let's just start off. Hit Alt and drag these up so we change the velocity. Try this one here. Like this perk here. Well, I'm not actually sure. Okay, let's reduce the volume of these here. Sounds a bit random. Gonna look for more of a bongo type sound. Yeah. just a matter of messing around and being patient with these types of drum grooves, because it's really easy to get impatient, but I want to be very precise with these drums, and if something doesn't fit, I'm just going to redo that. Yeah, this one sounds better. Let's look for sounds that are more bongo-ish. Yeah, I think we already imported these, so they should work. Yep, that's it. That is it. Let's hit Control J to consolidate so we have double the loop length here. No. Like this one here, and I'm going to add this one here as well, maybe here. Cool, so we have a pretty nice drum groove here. Tweak these here, reduce the velocity of the shakers a bit. Yeah, we want them to sound really soft, so I'm going to really reduce the velocity on these. Going to duplicate this layer here and delete the drum rack, add a new drum rack, so we get to mess around with low percussion sounds now. Just going to import all of these. Just so you know that or know what I did, I originally had this MIDI clip. I just dragged it down here, or I duplicated the layer, which is why the MIDI clip is the exact same. Just going to replicate what I did by dragging down the MIDI clip here. I want it to be duplicated, so I'm going to hit Control. Now I have the exact same MIDI clip. In here, inside the upper channel, we find the drums that we previously programmed. Inside this lower channel, we have the new drums that I just imported from this low percussion folder. I'm going to double click this. Now I'm just going to drag all of these samples to the left. So it's a completely random drum groove that I got just from importing samples from one of my packs into a drum rack and just letting the MIDI do the work for me. Cool. And then I can mess around with the individual sounds here. Pretty happy with the sound, so I'm going to duplicate it, save the project. And I'm going to look for reduce the volume of this one here. I'm going to add some complementary type of like noise to the background of the groove. So I'm going to go into atmosphere, look for texture. You know what? Let's just take this water groove here. So I'm going to add this to tops, create an audio track, add this inside here, and just really reduce the volume. I want it to be very subtle. And take like a vinyl crackle. Yeah, this one's cool. Yeah, it's heading into a good direction. Let's change the kick. I'll stick with this short and snappy kick. I like it. So, but we're not finished yet. So at this point, I'm gonna create a new MIDI clip here. Control-Shift-T, and I'm gonna load in a plugin. And this plugin is called, how is it called? It's called Kontakt, as a matter of fact. Kontakt 6. It's gonna load it in here. It's gonna load a bit, so bear with me. There we go. Plugin's called Shimmer, Shake, and Strike. It's a really tongue twister type of word, but really cool plugin. I like it. Something that I got from Tim Green, which he mentioned in one of his production videos. And what we're going to do now is solo this layer here and see if we can draw in a pattern using the shakers. This plugin is very nice for shakers and organic sounding drum grooves. I use this sometimes in my own productions just to get a more variations in the drum groove. Let's see how this works again. So you have to draw in the pattern here. See here. There we go. See where we got you. Just gonna mess around with the MIDI. Okay. See, the notes are assigned differently. Here we have a tambourine in this MIDI range. Here we have the shakers. See if this works for us though. Let's drag this to the end, hit legato. And then in here, we can mess around with, let's actually reduce the reverb a bit. Clear shaker, so here we have the opportunity to change the pattern. Gonna play this with our entire drum group. See how much more organic the drums become. And we have the opportunity to pan these drums as well. So we're going to solo the shaker that we have here. This one's on the right, this one's on the left. That's how we get that wide stereotype shaker feeling. So we have one main shaker that we programmed earlier, which sounds like this. So I called it shakers main. Call this one over here, shakers pan. That's how we get those full sounding drum grooves with shakers. It's a really important element. Create really unique rhythms as well, and you can also change the instruments. We even have claps. That's pretty awesome. So can set the intensity of the claps over here. So we have an entire shaker and a clap loop inside here as well. Because why the frick not? Awesome. And what you could always do is change these over here. Or add a few notes. That always works too. From here on, we could just start adding some melodics, maybe some pads or something like that. Yeah. Control T. Make this blue, bluish. Reduce the volume. Have this go into our sidechain channel here. Wow. Wow. I love it. Cool. And then this is where it just starts getting fun. You know, just add in maybe like a chord pattern or something. So go like this. Really organic sounding. Can also add basses. You know, this doesn't officially belong to the drum part, but I find it to be really inspirational just to see what you can get out of messing around with a couple of different sounds here. Just go to sidechain as well. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna add a bass loop, bass lines. See if we have one for string beats. Yeah, we do. Cool. Change the word mode. Lovely. You know what? I actually like the one we had before. I'm gonna leave out these chords. If I want to make it really interesting, then I'd start messing around with vocal samples and stuff like that. We go into this Stagemer pack here and see if we can find something that's interesting, perhaps. Maybe something like this. Change the BPM 1 to 2, the original BPM. Some delay to this one here. Delay. I'm just gonna head into the same folder, see if I can find something else. Yeah. Vocal sample that we recorded here. Beautiful. And what we could do for the kick is remove some of the low end frequencies and perhaps add like a bit of a low cut right before. Let's do that with another EQ. So we have a dedicated EQ for low cut extra. Just like this. You know, like a pad sound in between, something like a swell. I have a couple of those in Daydreamer as well. It's evolving. We want to stick with the key of the track, which is B minor. See if this one works. Actually, it's also in B. Cool. Got ourselves a pretty nice groove going. A couple of melodics. Sounds pretty cool to my ears. Let's give it a playthrough. So that was it. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from the entire process. If you liked this video, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.